never stays the same. An endless grand parade of trading places. As mountain someday seas become, as planets fall back into suns, I too shall die, so laugh or cry. I live with knowing all we have is now. Riding on the winds of change. Yeah, riding on the winds of change. I'm living in an angry world, dancing with a royal girl. There's no one who could match the queen who crowns me. Am I supposed to be okay with knowing there will come a day she goes away, it all goes away? Tell me, brother, would that work for you? Riding on the winds of change. Yeah, riding on the winds of change. Nothing stays the same. We change, we change. Nothing stays. We change, we change, we change. Nothing stays. Be still. If your birth doesn't show you, your death will. Your gift is this moment waiting for you. Listen, boy, for your sadness, it's part of your joy. And it's all the same. It's all the riding on the winds of change. Nothing of itself remains. So desperately we cling to our forevers. But really through the day by day, we know that nothing's here to stay. There's no clinging to this passion play. Just breathing out and breathing in again. Whoa, whoa, riding. Yeah, riding on the winds. Riding on the winds of change. 1, 2, 3. Chatke I Ach. Klek, Dech, Natsk, Dakun, Cajun, Kle Dushu, Dach Dushu, Natsk Dushu, Gushuk, Jinkat. Klek, Dech, Natsk, Dakun, Cajun, Kle Dushu, Dach Dushu, Natsk Dushu, Gushuk, Jinkat.
The eagle lifts her great wing to the west. The red-tail feels the wind upon his chest. The time has come to fly on high to the mountain crest. See this sight, yes, it's right. Eagle in the west. The red-tailed hawk circles in the sky. The eagle lifts her great wing way up high. The power and the majesty of these great birds as they fly. See this sight? Yes, it's right. The red tail in the sky. The great horned owl is calling to the moon. The night is cold, although it's early June. Are in bloom. See this sight? Yes, it's right. The hoot owl with the moon. The kestrel flashes bright above the hill. His call and flight still give me such a thrill. He hovers high and moves so fast, I hope he always will. See this sight? Yes, it's right. The kestrel by the hill. The eagle, hawk, and owl are up there, dancing in the sky. See this sight? Yes, it's right. Let these great birds fly. Eagle, hawk, and owl are up there, dancing in the sky. See this sight? Yes, it's right. Let these great birds fly. See this sight? Yes, it's right. Let these great birds fly.
Because of the dense underbrush in southeast Alaska, cross-country hiking is difficult unless you have an established trail. Hello, I'm Scott Foster, and welcome to Rain Country. These trails are our freeways through the Devil's Club and the alder thickets, and they bring us up for closer views that many visitors and some residents only see from a distance. Valley glaciers, alpine meadows, high mountain ridges, and summits. Now, every southeast town has their own established system of trails and devoted hikers. In Juneau, for example, every Wednesday and Saturday for years, there have been established public hikes, been brought about through the cooperation of Parks and Rec and a hardcore group of volunteers. And come rain or come shine, these hikers put on their packs and get around southeast on their own 2 feet. What's the Mount Roberts Trail like in comparison to all the other trails in Juneau? Can you just sort of put it into some sort of perspective?
Well, I think it's one of the better trails as far as a trail. And it's also, you have a beautiful view, and it's not hard to get to. And it's, if you like to hike up, it's an easy up. And the trail is pretty good on your feet. I mean, it's pretty well worn, so it's safe. And it's nice. I like the view once, you get to the top if it isn't raining.
Well, and even on a day like this, you're still smiling.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
These hikes go on as scheduled, rain or shine, and they attract a steady group of participants.
I know that there's a lot of people who hike other than our group. There's a Saturday hike that's for children and adults with Parks and Rec, and this group is only adults. But we have probably a dozen steady, regular people that come on our hike.
This month I was keeping track and how many miles we cover, and we've done over 100 miles this month so far, and probably a total elevation gain of somewhere between 15 and 20,000 in just our Saturday and Wednesday hikes.
The hikes lead in many directions, and for those wanting directions, there are several Juneau hiking guides, including one on mining trails, one on 90 short walks, and a Forest Service recreation guide.
Oh, there's a tremendous variety of trails, and usually we very seldom will cover the same trail twice in a summer's hiking, and this opening up of the new Point Bridget State Park has yielded us another area to explore. And we often see a number of birds on these hikes. A couple of weeks ago on the way up to Troy Mountain, we ran across a small pygmy owl. Everyone got real good looks at that. And last week we were up in Granite Creek Basin, and there was a flock of about 24 ptarmigan that had already turned white. And then up on Troy Mountain, we got right in the middle of a raptor migration, and there were falcons and sharp-shinned hawks and eagles, and just by the dozens up there, and it was pretty exciting.
These regular Wednesday and Saturday Juneau hikes that change to cross-country ski trips in the winter attract all kinds of participants.
I think people who like the outdoors, like the companionship. I know that's why I do. I like outdoors and I like companionship, and getting together with people with similar interests. And for the interesting people we meet, like the two from Canada.
Because we'd like to hike, and it's a good way to see the landscape and to know the animals and the trees and the plants.
This is one you really should know, is the blueberry.
It's blueberry?
Mm-hmm.
It's a big one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's about 7 different species of blueberry
I don't know
in southeast Alaska, but that's one of the taller ones.
And this one?
That every Alaskan has to know. It's a Devil's Club.
Some trails are level, some seem to go straight up, and most are in between. But these organized hikes make provisions for hikers of all abilities.
But it is nice to be in somewhat shape and start in the spring when the hikes are easier, like we go out to the Boy Scout camp. or out in that area. We don't go to the camp, but out in that area. And take the easy hikes and build up to them. And we have all sorts of people hiking with us of different, and we just break into little groups as faster as you can want to go. There's one group, and there's a medium run, and then there's the slow ones, and there's always a leader with them.
I'm one of the volunteer leaders. Each month we have 2 volunteer leaders, and basically all we do is try to make sure no one gets lost, and we pick up anybody who needs a ride at Coe Park, and we handle the sign-up sheets and carry the first aid equipment.
Hiking clothing is a matter of personal preference, but the general Southeast rules apply. Wear layers and bring rain gear.
I have a T-shirt, a cotton shirt, and a raincoat. And then, of course, Mount Roberts is up, so I got awfully warm right away and had to take my rain gear off. Foot gear, well, 99% of the time it's rubber boots and wool socks. On nice sunny days, you can, of course, wear leather boots, which are much more comfortable, but it's mostly rubber boots.
Like anyone going out of doors in Southeast, certain modest precautions should be taken.
You have to be aware of the bears. Don't hike alone. I ran into one woman who said, well, maintained trails don't have bothers with bears, and I just looked at her and I said, any trail in Juneau has a bear problem. And to carry a pack, carry water, because a lot of the trails do not have good potable water. Let somebody know where you're going when you'll be back.
There's always a place for good deeds done along the trail, like picking up litter or cleaning up the trail.
Well, we're just trying to remove any obvious hazards. That would really throw you for a loop if you put your foot on it.
When we started out today, there were a dozen or so people at the head of the trail. You know, it's cloudy and it's been getting worse all morning, and the wind's blowing and the rain's blowing. Why do you come out on a day like this?
Well, I come out just for exercise, and also I like the people I hike with. It kind of, it's a group that we get to know each other and we enjoy each other's company, and I just like that. I like to get out and visit with the people and exercise.
It gives us a different outlook. It makes us more energetic to get that, maybe to get through the next week in town.
One thing that I like about it is that we go irregardless of the weather. And so like a day like today, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't go. It's always not as bad as it looks when you're sitting in the house.
I think that this is a resource that just hasn't been tapped at all here. We think if the tour agencies and the travel agencies and the Forest Service and state parks and, you know, would do everything they could, we could make this into a real resource for Juneau.
Why should I waste my time right now, romantic rhyme, when a song will never win your love? on me. Why lay my feelings bare for the whole wide world to share? Wondering if you even care or if you love me. And darling, why write a brand new magic melody, working out that three-part harmony? Well, if the message in my love songs could melt your heart away, then I'll start another love song right away today. And I'll sing those pretty love songs, come what may. And I'll sing those pretty love songs every day.
Just a kiss on my lips makes me feel just a little bit. Look at me, look at you. See my love shine just a little bit. We can look into tomorrow and live only today. Find it if we try to, searching in every way. My love for you, just a little bit. Let them pass me by.
When you look at these totem poles, chilkat blankets, and carved wooden hats, do you wonder? Who made these? What are they used for? What do they mean to the people who made them? To my people, the Tlingit natives of Alaska, they record the history of our families and tribes. They document our relationship with the land, with the fish, with the game that has sustained us throughout the ages. When we wear them and put them in our houses, they tell people who we are. What is our lineage? They give us self-respect. They are more like the coats of arms of the noble families of Britain than the sculptures of Picasso or Michelangelo. Take this raven hat that one of our great chiefs would wear at special ceremonies and dances. It tells the story of how Raven brought light into the world for the first time. This is a story my mother and grandmother have told me many times. Like the book of Genesis in the Bible, this hat records an important part of our history.
Raven looked around, and it was dark. There was no sun, no moon, no stars. That was the way it was back in those ancient days, when it was dark as the inside of the earth, dark as the wing of Raven himself. He had to grope his way along the beach until he came to the Nass River. He had learned from the fishermen of the night about an old man and about the bright treasures he kept in his house. So Raven groped his way up the banks of the river. He flew up the banks of the river. He ran and he danced all the way to the headwaters and the house of Nashak on Kau. He was wealthy, that old nobleman. He had many treasures, but the greatest ones he kept in boxes there in his house. The sun, the moon, and the stars. He had another treasure, too, a beautiful daughter, one he loved very much. Raven learned all that from the fishermen of the night. He turned himself into a spruce needle. He floated down the river into a pool, floated there, and waited. The servants didn't notice him when they brought water into the house, and the daughter didn't notice him either when she dipped her ladle into that water and held it to her lips and drank. Didn't even notice Raven as she swallowed him down, and now he was inside her, and she became pregnant. 9 months later, she gave birth to Raven in the form of a human child. That nobleman of the headwaters of the Nass, Nashak on Kau, he loved his little grandson, didn't care where he came from, didn't know who he was, just thought he was his grandson. He wouldn't deny him anything. And Raven, as that little boy, he looked around the house, and he had figured out where the treasures were hidden. And so, when he was old enough, he asked to play with one of the boxes that was next to the house screen. His mother said no, but Raven cried and carried on so much that the old man gave in to him. When no one was looking, Raven went to the box and opened it up. Out flew the stars, all the stars of the nighttime sky. Out they all flew, up out of the box, up through the smoke hole, up into the black sky, where they scattered and glimmered and have remained to this day. Nashak Ankau could hardly believe it, but the stars box was empty. The little boy pretended to be very sorry about what he'd done. He cried and wouldn't be comforted. Finally, to stop his crying, Nashak Ankau gave him the second box to play with, even though the boy's mother didn't think he should have it. Maybe she was thinking her old father spoiled her son too much, but he was trying to explain to her that he was a good boy, didn't mean to lose the stars. And Raven just crept up behind them when they were arguing like that. Softly and silently, like a feather rising on the wind, the moon rose out, up through the smoke hole. The old man tried to catch it, but he couldn't, nobody could. It didn't belong to anybody anymore. Now there was a moon in the nighttime sky, and people began to see what the world they lived in was like. The old man grieved over the loss of his treasures, but still he loved his little grandson, and he forgave him. He wouldn't let him near the biggest box, though. That was his final greatest treasure, box of daylight. So Raven waited. He waited until late one night. He put on his wing cape, turning himself back from a human child and into a black bird again. He rose up. All the people of the Nass, all the people of the night, all the people of the world were asleep. He crept to the box. He opened it slowly. A great light shone out. It rose, and it rose, up through the smoke hole, and the stars faded before it, and the moon, and daylight broke over the world. The people of the world woke up, and they marveled. They saw the first sunrise, and they saw the world they had been living in, truly saw what they had for the first time. And Nashak Ankau saw too. He saw Raven, recognized him for what he was, and he knew what had happened. He grieved for the loss of his treasures. He grieved even more for the loss of his grandson. But just then, a sunbeam came through the smoke hole, and it fell upon him, warmed him, and he looked around, and he saw clearly, and he understood.
was hot, it was the early morning bite. He ran up on a pinnacle, hung all 4 lines, lost his leads and half of his spreads. Now he fishes in La La Land. La 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 Land. It's so deep there you can't stand. It's way over your head. You don't need a plan in La La Land. La La Land is a place you can't stand. It's way over your head. But when you're dragging weight, anticipating, La La Land means safety instead. But even if you run away to outer space, there is no place that is perfectly safe. Your hoochies wear out and your taglines chafe. There are sharks in La La Land. La 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 Land. It's so deep there you can't stand. It's way over your head. You don't need a plan in La La Land. Let's just say you're out where everything's cool, where the ocean is as flat as a swimming pool. You might be a wise man, you might be a fool, but for now you're in La La Land. Then out on the horizon you see a speck. Pretty soon there's a smoker boat breathing down your neck. You think in this big ocean wouldn't have to protect against collisions in La La Land. So you swerve to the left, you avoid to the right. Why is this guy making you so uptight? Then a bottle rocket flies through your window and the radio says, "Good morning from La La Land." La 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 Land. It's so deep there you can't stand. It's way over your head. You don't need a plan in La La Land. So far over your head, you don't need a plan in La La Land. I saw the shining like I never have seen.
The rugged face of Alaska is timeless and majestic. On its southern edge, behind a towering wall of ice, lies the port city of Juneau. The gold rush brought the first settlers over Thunder Mountain in 1880. Today, in the shadow of Mendenhall Glacier, a new generation of pioneers has built a football program on the rocky plain at Juneau Douglas High School.
The little I know about geology is this glacier at one time went all the way down past the airport, and in all the thousands of years it's backed up to where it is now. And this is just glacier silt. It's kind of a volcanic type ash that's very abrasive. Most of the kids have scrapes, cuts, bruises. It's hard. I mean, this is hard as a rock. Warm for a day, and then it'll cook it. It's the type of the field that when it rains, things start working their way up to the topsoil. You'll see the kids every once in a while bend over, pick up a rock, throw it off the field, or whatever happens to be on the field. A piece of glass or a piece of wood that's stuck up out of the dirt. We'll line them all up from sideline to sideline, and we'll walk down 110 yards and come back 110 yards, and we figure if we have 40 kids, and they each pick up 10 rocks on their way down and 10 on their way back, so we've got 800 rocks off the field. That shouldn't leave more than 2,000 or 3,000 left to pick up the next week. Okay. Hey, hold it. Who's supposed to be talking in here? I'm sorry. Line me up a line.
Dave Haney's coaching staff.
Unemployment officer.
To do this more often, I guess.
Our two specialty team coaches are both policemen. Chief Rice works for the Fish and Game.
Chief Sal, over the goal line.
Well, we have a taxi cab driver.
Be a linebacker, okay? When they asked me if I wanted to come up and be the linebacker coach, I told them I'd come up here and do anything. I'll be a hash mark for you. I don't care. There's no road system out of Juneau. We have 137 miles of internal road system, but we're not connected to the outside at all. You get here by boat or by airplane, and that's it. Our budget is astronomical. There's always something going on to try and raise money.
Right now we have a deficit of $12,000, and that doesn't get us through the last two travel games.
We don't just jump on a bus and go play a football game. We travel to Anchorage. We play teams up by Fairbanks, and it costs about $10,000 a week. I'd hate to see the kids go this far and then have the season called off because we can't pay for them to play. That'd be a tragedy.
You have to really press the kids starting on day one. When they show up to get their pads, they're getting coupon books or raffle tickets to sell. And we tell them, you're not going to play in the game in 2 weeks. When we have our game, you won't play unless you get this fundraising done. And you know, I just hate that part. It's not part of coaching, but it's part of being real right here. We have to do it. We have problems here, long winters, and it's hard. We lose kids all throughout the system. We lose them in the winter, and they just don't seem to come back in the spring. I mean, they're here, but not there. And football is the main lever that kept them in school.
The players pay for their own uniforms, and there's no money for modern equipment. So with some rope and a steep hill, the Bears create their own Stairmaster.
Most high school football programs are financed through the high school, through the school system, and this one isn't. The high school has input as far as what we do and what we can't do, but there isn't any money that comes through the high school. All the money comes from the community.
Did you buy a truck ticket for the raffle? Oh, come on.
These kids play with their heart, their soul, and to some extent their wallet.
You know, it's not just about the X's and O's. It's about getting along with the guy, and it teaches them that it's okay to be different. Oh, yeah, we have Anglo, African-American, Filipino, Native American, Tongan, the great cross-culture. And I tell them that, hey, all it takes is all you got. Don't leave anything on that sideline. Once you cross those lines, guys, sell your soul. Sell your soul for yourself.
We hit harder, I think. And, you know, we're probably the hardest hitting team in Alaska.
All the hard work, all the fundraising is directed towards one goal, giving the Juneau team a chance to compete against the bigger, richer Alaskan schools. It's a struggle that takes everything the players and the town have to give, but they give it week after week so their team can line up and play.
The kids never complain about not getting the luck. They never complain about getting wet and dirty and have to catch the bus and ride it home. They just never complain. Well, that heart of the field, and the way we tackle 6, 7, 8 guys at a time. If you've got your shoulder facing down, and you're getting piled on. It's not good for you.
It's a home field advantage. I tell them all the time, guys, this is our house, this is our place. No one wants to play on this field.
When the visitors come and they look at the third field and say, gee, I don't know if I want to dive for that ball.
And they don't like it, but we don't care.
These kids have taken on the Giants out of Anchorage. You know, it's the David and Goliath thing.
These guys that we're playing have the fastest 4 guys in the state on their team. They won the state high school champion 4x100 relay. We're not kicking it deep.
Juneau leads Alaska in football attendance. 5,000 people attend the home game. That's 1/5 of Juneau's total population. Bartlett High School is a 2-time state champion. Early in the game, their size and speed frustrates the Juneau players.
Well, he couldn't pass because we didn't have a block in the back. He was when he's on the run all the time. Son, he could not do it.
Get in there and hit him. Every single play. You. Everybody. Let's go. Score.
We'll take it. We'll play on that arm. Hold him up, man. Beautiful. Yeah. That guy's not going to do the same thing.
Go.
In the second half, the skies open. A cold rain makes the field even more treacherous.
Coach, get away, Coach.
And the aggressive Bears take control of the game.
Keep it up, Chad. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up.
The Juneau field plays no favorites. It bruises the home team and visitors alike. The difference is the Juneau players can't wait to get back in the game. Juneau completes the route of Bartlett High and earns its first ever trip to the state playoff. The victory belongs not only to the Juneau players, but to the entire community, which has kept alive a team and a dream on the last frontier of football America.